What's up, guys? So Messi here finally has his cup. Argentina was able to get it done against Brazil in the Maracanã in Brazil away. There weren't a whole lot of fans. There weren't supposed to be any fans in the stadium, but last minute decision pretty much meant that there were some. First of all, that there was a lot of confusion, but also that there ended up being some fans in the stadium supporting both Brazil and Argentina. But really, the big story was really Messi winning his first championship with Argentina and Argentina winning the first cup since 1993, if you don't count the Olympics, which I don't know if we shouldn't count the Olympics. I think it's still a prestigious tournament, but usually people kind of like skip the Olympics because obviously because of all the restrictions, at least with the men's teams in terms of the players that you can take to the Olympics. Um, which I think is silly. I think they should change that rule, but that's a video for another day. In any case, the big story of the Copa America, obviously Brazil and Argentina make it to the final, and it's not every day that you get to see a final between Brazil and Argentina, the two biggest powers of the continent. And frankly, it was a very disappointing match. Anyone that watched the match on Saturday, I mean, it was hard to watch. It was a field battle basically. I mean, a lot of fouls all the time, not a whole lot of football except for Di Maria's winning goal, which was a very good goal. You know, Di Maria showing up, the Fideo showing up when it counts. And but it was a terrible match overall. You know, obviously I was cheering for Brazil, you know, because I was born in Brazil. I always cheer for Brazil when Brazil is playing. But I was a little bit happy at the end. Unhappy because Brazil lost, obviously, but happy, like I think a lot of people, because it just felt unfair. Argentina had a lot of bad luck, and in since 1993 they weren't able to win anything since 1993. And this Argentinian team, this generation, not just Messi. Messi, obviously, you know, he's probably the greatest player of his generation, maybe of all time, and it just felt wrong that he couldn't get anything done with Argentina. They had played. This was his fifth final, so they had reached Argentina under Messi four finals. They had lost three Copa America finals. One of them, the first one against Brazil, and obviously the World Cup final against Germany. Which I felt that they deserved to win that World Cup final. I think with VAR today, that probably would have been a penalty against Higuain. But in any case, it finally came. The day finally came for Argentina, for Messi. And again, there's not much to tell about. There's not much to say about the match itself. It was a terrible match. It was a terrible match, and really it's unfortunate because it was a great occasion for football, but it wasn't really a good match. I mean, it was kind of horrible. Really, lots of fouls, both by Argentina and by Brazil. I think Argentina looked a little bit more skillful at times, but Brazil also had its moments. But really, overall, it was really not a great game. Even the big stars, you know, the big story of the game was Neymar versus Messi, and none of the two really appeared in that game. I mean, maybe because they were marked so strictly. Um, they didn't really have a lot of chances to appear. There was a lot of, you know, uh, it was very harsh marking and harsh falls on both Messi and Neymar on both sides. So it was a tricky affair. It was a chess match, and it was almost a boxing match as well at times. So it was a very physical game, not a lot of space for great football. Also, the pitch wasn't in the best of conditions, so that may have harmed the spectacle as well, football wise. But at the end of the day, the story is, you know, Argentina's back. They get their first big trophy, and Messi gets his Mr. Messi here. He gets, I think now, his resume finally looks decent with Argentina. Yes, they did lose three finals. He did lose three finals in the Copa America, one final in the World Cup. But look, he won the Olympic gold. He has all those silver medals with Argentina as well. Now he has a gold medal in the Copa America, the first tournament that they won since 1993. It's actually not a very bad resume for Messi. It's actually pretty decent if you think about it. It's pretty decent. Obviously, he'll always look back at the World Cup final and that they couldn't win, but that's football. And when you're playing Germany, I mean, sometimes you don't win. Every single national team in the world, top national team in the world, has had their problems against Germany. That's why they're the dominant team in world football alongside Brazil. But it is what it is. But ultimately, this is a good moment for Messi. This is a good moment for Argentina, and I'm glad that both Argentina and Italy got their due this summer, because they had been, they were true classical teams, true historical teams, and I feel that they had been unlucky in modern history, especially Argentina, and I think they deserve to win a title. This is a great generation of players, a generation of players that this was probably going to be their last big moment in the world stage. Now, next year, obviously, they'll have the chance. Some of them will. Not all of them, but some of them, Messi, Di Maria, I believe even Aguero should probably make it to the World Cup. Otamendi, but most of the generation is not even playing for Argentina anymore. But this great generation of players. But I think they finally get their moment winning this Copa America, and this is a great boost for them, just like for Italy. This is a great boost for them. 1 year away from the World Cup, because of the COVID situation, we're going to have Copa America and the World Cup and the Euro Cup and the World Cup, right? With just 1 year apart, and I think this will be a huge boost for Argentina, for Messi, huge confidence boost. And even though they weren't fantastic in this game against Brazil, not that Brazil were any better, but none of the two teams looked really good in the game. But both teams kind of grew throughout the tournament, and they were both looking fairly good by the end. Brazil had a good tournament. They were probably the best team in the tournament. They probably deserved to win the tournament overall, but they just couldn't get it done in the final. But for Argentina was also fantastic, and they had the greatest player of his generation, who also had a fantastic, I'm gonna share my screen here. I just want to look at the stats of the tournament. I mean, look at this. Lionel Messi, 4 goals, top goal scorer, alongside with Luis Diaz from Colombia, and 5 assists. So that's 5 assists and 4 goals in a short tournament. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Absolutely fantastic stats for Lionel Messi, and just shows you how influential, how important he was for this Argentina team. And I think it's a well-deserved title for Lionel Messi and this Argentina.